Hi, in this video we're going to look at the texture of Setwork 6, the third movement from Electric Counterpoint by Steve Reich. As is common in minimalism, the music is built up in layers. In section A, the 9 different guitar parts build up over time in the following order. First is guitar 1 on its own, then the live guitar comes in, then the guitar 2, guitar 3 and guitar 4 come in, then it's bass guitar 1 and bass guitar 2 together, and after that guitar 5, guitar 6 and guitar 7. Guitar 1 enters at the beginning with a repeated melodic pattern that we'll call ostinato 1. The live guitar enters with just 3 notes of ostinato 1, and it builds up over time until it reaches the full ostinato at bar 6, and it does this using a technique called note addition. Guitars 1, 2, 3 and 4 and the live guitar all enter during the first 42 seconds of the piece, and believe it or not, they're all playing the same thing, ostinato 1. However, each player has begun on a different beat of the bar, which creates this busy polyphonic texture. It's worth pointing out that this isn't an example of phasing. For phasing to occur, you need each part to be a slightly different length so that when they're repeated, they come in and out of sync with each other. Here, all the parts are the same, so they stay constantly out of sync with each other. Steve Reich calls this section a 4-part guitar canon, with the live guitar playing the resultant melody over the top. The resultant melody is what comes out almost by accident by combining all the other parts together. The bass parts enter at bar 43 with a 2-bar ostinato, and again they use note addition to build up gradually. These bass guitar parts are panned to the left speaker and the right speaker to create a wide stereo effect. At about 1 minute into the piece, the live guitar part changes from a picking technique to a strumming technique, and this adds a percussive element to the music. Then guitars 5, 6 and 7 enter one by one and also play chords, and for the next minute or so the music is very contrapuntal, with the strummed guitar parts playing against the melodic layers. Section B comes next, and it's marked by a sudden change of key. The texture, however, remains the same all the way through section B until we reach the coda. Here we have the same texture as we heard at the beginning of the piece, with that 4-part guitar canon and the live guitar playing the resultant melody over the top. So let's listen to the set work now. The piece begins with guitar 1 repeating a 1-bar ostinato, and then the live guitar part starts with just 3 notes of this ostinato and builds up over time using note addition. Over the course of the next 40 seconds or so, guitars 2, 3 and 4 are introduced, and they're brought in one after the other gradually over time. And they're also playing the same ostinato as guitar 1, but because they're brought in at different times on different beats of the bar, they create this very complex polyphonic texture. Steve Reich calls this his 4-part guitar canon, and over the top of this, the live guitar part is playing the resultant melody that comes as different notes from that canon stand out louder than the rest. The bass guitars are then introduced, starting with just 1 bar and then dropping out, and each time it comes back, new notes are added, and eventually they play a full 2-bar ostinato. The live guitar then stops picking out the resultant melody and starts playing chords in a strumming style. Over the course of the next minute, guitars 5, 6 and 7 are introduced, also strumming chords. guitar drops out for one bar and then goes back to picking out the resultant melody. At section B, the texture remains exactly the same. The only thing that's changed is the key. Towards the end of section B, guitars 5, 6, 7 and the two bass guitars gradually fade away with a long diminuendo, leaving just the 4-part guitar canon that we heard at the beginning, with the live guitar still playing the resultant melody. This texture is then maintained, staying the same for the entire coda right up until the end. Okay, I hope that gives you a good understanding of the textures used in Setwork 6. Thanks for liking and commenting on the video, and click on the subscribe button below. Bye!